I'm Fernando Suarez at the San Jose mine in Chile. Here's the latest update. The local paper headline says it all. Hoy es el día, today is the day. As we speak, rescue teams are continuing to test an empty capsule to make sure that it's safe enough for the miners when they make the journey up. Once that capsule is deemed safe, they will put one of the rescue team members in and continue to do tests. Later in the day, we expect the first two members of the rescue team to make their way all the way down to the miners to start prepping them for the journey. One of them will actually be a paramedic who's bringing medication to make sure that the miners are healthy enough to make the journey up. Now today the mine minister said at a press conference that he hopes to have one of the miners out before the end of the day. Now, the size of the capsule is actually about the size of this bicycle tire. As you can tell, it's quite snug. There's not a lot of room to move around in. The miners are going to have to make sort of a 15 to 20 minute long journey to the surface in about that amount of space. Overall, it'll take about 1 hour per miner to complete the trip. Once they're at the surface, they'll be greeted by doctors who will evaluate them to see what their medical condition is like. If they're stable enough, they'll be able to visit with family members of their choosing. Once they've had a time to visit with them, they'll be flown to a local hospital for further evaluation. Now, we've gotten a few questions on Facebook that we'd like to answer for you. Nikki Diamond Princess DeRozan asks, will it be hard for them to adjust to the sunlight when they come out? Actually, it probably will be. Now, every case is different, but they will be given protective sunglasses to make sure that their eyes can adjust to the light, whether it's at nighttime or at daylight. As a matter of fact, at the hospital, they've built a room to make it about as dark enough as a movie theater to mimic the darkness of the mine. So certainly they're taking into consideration how sensitive their eyes might be when they're down there. We got one more question from Betsy Merritt Drew. Betsy asks, what do they plan on doing if one of the miners shows signs of distress on the way up the shaft? As a matter of fact, Betsy, the small capsule that's going to be taking them up is traveling at about 3 feet per second. There's going to be a camera inside the capsule that'll be monitoring their facial expressions for potential panic attacks. Also, they'll be monitoring their vital signs, their heart rate. If they start to see that one of the miners is not feeling well or starting to suffer a panic attack or just wants to get out of there, they can actually increase the speed of the capsule to about 9 feet per second and hopefully to get them out quicker. Well, there's certainly a lot of tension here at Camp Esperanza as family members continue to wait for the rescue to take place. The rescue process has certainly taken a toll on many of them. We caught up with Maria Segovia Rojo, one of the family members who's been here for 2 months. In the first 17 days, she slept in a chair. She now has a camp here on site at Camp Esperanza. And the first time we met her when the drill broke through, she was ecstatic. She was waving a Chilean flag, chanting, singing, very joyous. When we caught up with her today, tired. She was laying down in a tent and basically told us that she is tired. Even though she does have faith that the process is going to go well, she still wants this to be over soon, as do many of the other family members. Well, this is clearly one of the most difficult stories I've ever covered logistically. I mean, if you look around, this is absolute barren desert. There's rock everywhere. We are in the middle of nowhere. Throw into that about 1,000 different media organizations with satellite trucks, campers. We're all competing for the one same thing, which is access to family members at this point. Many of those family members are actually being held in a special location where media can't even access them. And once those miners start coming out, it'll start all over again. We'll all be competing to talk to that one miner, and that's certainly going to be a challenge as we go forward. I'm Fernando Suarez for CBSNews.com at the San Jose mine in Chile.